Oops.
Falling down and broken, collapsing, it seems lost. Pressing on, it's not over. Now it depends on you. Every day and every night, should you go or should you fight? It's okay, just take my hand. Should you go or should you fight? It's okay, just take
I don't know why I have two of these going on. I don't know why I have two of these going on. Okay, we're having some problems, obviously.
Difficulties?
I have two of these going on. Okay, we're having some problems, obviously.
Difficulties?
Yeah, and I don't know why it's doing it. I'm trying to figure some things out. Hi, everyone. Please be patient. I don't know why this is happening. I'm trying to figure some things out. Hi, everyone. Please be patient. I don't. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I fixed something. Okay, are you able to hear me in the chat? Are you hearing me? Okay, there's a lot of noise coming in the background. I'm gonna have to mute someone. So anyway, okay. I'm sorry, everyone. We didn't get off to a very good start here. So please bear with us. We're getting set up here. I'm not sure why we had two sounds going at the same time. I looked all over. I don't know what's going on, but nonetheless, we're okay now. So welcome, everyone. I have with me today Tanaath, the Prime Commander of the Silver Legion. And she will tell us what she can as far as what's important for humanity to be doing now. And a lot of that involves personal work. But we've been hearing that from a lot of people. But I think she has a very important perspective. So let's bring Tanaath on. I don't know why your picture's not showing, Tanaath.
I don't know why either. Maybe everybody wants to see my kitty.
Yeah, it's on your, it's on the side, but it's not on, I don't get it. Maybe you could go out and come back in. Maybe that would fix it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Wow. Oh, there you are. Now it worked.
Oh, there we go.
I wonder, that's really weird. Okay. We have some strange things happening with the computer today. So as we say, bear with us because we do the best we can.
I have to apologize because we're expecting a snowstorm here. So immediately after getting home from work, before calling Gail, I have to prepare a couple of gallons of kimchi tonight. And yeah, things are.
And so you're expecting a snowstorm already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Could be nothing. Could be up to 10 cents.
Wow. Okay. I guess you are pretty far north in Canada then.
I am.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, there may be some people, some listeners who are not familiar with the Silver Legion, although it's been around for a very long time. Would you like to explain, or please explain a little bit about it and what it all means and what you all do and how it can impact all of us?
Well, just throwing it right out there. I do have a website which kind of goes through some of this, and there's other internet floating around, both with Gail and with others. But the Silver Legion is a non-Earth-based Harry group that's basically, we've come here specifically because of an attempt at planetary enslavement, and it is also something that on this planet personally, but could potentially have ramifications affecting only this universe, but other universes. So we've basically, with the same work that Gail's doing, and most of doing, whether actively or not, basically, and the cabal is part of it. The nasty, evil, gross, spiritual entities that are effing around with us are part of it. It's a huge, massive effort that doesn't just. It's not just the Silver Legion involved in this. It's like so many humans, so many non-humans, all working to try to make things better and fix things. So yeah.
They say that you're going in and out a little bit, but it seems like you got plenty of bandwidth, so I don't know what that's all about. But
well,
I'm
it
just
could be
letting you know.
because I'm using my phone today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use. So I apologize for that. Could also
Okay,
be
yeah.
interference. There's been quite a lot of that over the last few days.
Yeah, and I apologize everyone out there for the glitchiness that's happening. There's nothing that we can do about it. I hope you're able to make out what she's saying, because I haven't been able to understand. So we are having these problems because sometimes it's intentional interference, and it seems like something's been going on with the internet anyway, because a lot of people are reporting a variety of different problems. So maybe it just depends where you are or what's going on at the time. But anyway, please bear with us in that regard. So, Tanaath, what's going on now as far as that you can talk about?
Like that I really looks like shall we put it politely, like the shit here. So we're in a bit of a fair because once it, think of it kind of like a game where the board is against us and all the rules favor the enemy, but we're changing the rules and making alterations to the board as we go. There are certain things that if they occur, basically all of a sudden, it's like we can do that move, right? Wow. So the SHTF, they are making it because that also enables us to do a whole bunch of various things, which I can't talk about, but needless to say, very closely, and we're ready to move at a moment's notice.
Do you feel that certain things are taking place that we hear in the alternative arena, but we don't hear anything in the public arena?
Oh, absolutely. Or if you do, it's like buried and then nobody ever talks about it. Like the fact that the Mississippi River is drying up to yeah.
Wow, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah. Right. The alternative community may have heard parts of that, but like the rest of the public is that the Mississippi River is about to lose its ability to have greatly reduce, and if that happens, well, there is a huge effects when one of the world's most largest and economically important water reduced to a trickle.
Okay, I have somebody who's asking me, hey, ladies, hey guys, did Tanaath get promoted, or was she always a prime commander?
No, I was always the prime commander. So
they don't know what that means.
What that means, the Silver Legion is extremely anarchic. Rank basically denotes the amount of responsibility you have which means the amount of most of us aren't seeking rank. I just kind of got shoved in this position. I'm one of 6 commanders, but in any military structure, you can't have a democracy. Hence the prime commander.
Oh, okay. So you have a number of commanders, but there's one prime commander. It's kind of like the president being in charge of the military, right? More or less.
Yes. Yes, exactly. The military, right? You can only have one, and even Earth militaries know that. And when the shooting starts, you have to have one person who could say, "Oh no, okay, no, we're going to do. We're right. You can't leave it up to committee."
Oh, okay. Somebody is asking, why is the Mississippi River drying up?
It could be anywhere from weather warfare, strategic dam withhold, like upstream, even just patterns due to the change in the solar output. For sure is that it's going to have an extreme effect on everybody in North America, because a huge amount of our day-to-day is on that pipeline, that movement of goods and whatnot. Yeah. So, Drake has been telling you guys for Coon's age, haven't got 2 weeks by now. For fuck's sake, get out there, get some beans and rice, because you might have to live off that hairy. And the cabal is very determined to make things get hairy. Hats are going to be able to do anything about it. Well, but it's better to be prepared and be sure that you and your family and the people you care about can survive through and help you out. Then that's a bonus.
Do you think they have to store very much for very long? How many weeks or months do you think people should have stored up if they can?
Into the winter months, especially here in the northern hemisphere, if you're in food, you probably want to have a couple of months. And for heaven's sakes, learn healthy. Because if you're in a situation where you are fasting, knowing how to fast correctly can mean the difference between, starvation or controlled, controlled. I fast regularly. In fact, I'm fasting right now. I'm doing a 44-hour intermittent stock up on good quality vitamins. Kirkland, one of the more cost-effective ones. You have enough electrolyte salts, just plain old salt, food grade Epsom salt, and regular salt, and potassium chloride. You can, in a pinch, you can mix those up. Either drink it straight, put it in a caplet, and take it with lots of water. Otherwise, you're going to burn your stomach. Access to food for a couple of days, that'll keep you from ending up with your heart stopping when you do get accident, right? Electrolyte refeed syndrome depends a lot on electrolytes. You need electrolytes to make your heart beat. So yeah.
Yes, and yeah, it is
learning
very
to
important.
fast appropriately can mean the difference between death at refeeding or just being, losing a few pounds that maybe you could or could.
Yes, that's very true. And I do suggest to people intermittent fasting is the best way to fast. And but even other fasting is okay too, because what happens is it actually turns on ancient genes, so it boosts your immune system.
Yes, it does, and it's some of us have involuntarily had to, or maybe discovered after the fact, that it was intermittent fasting kicks off autophagy, which helps undo the damage. So there is a lot to be said for fasting. I've been fasting regularly for the last year. If you eat a standard Western diet, you are consuming huge quantities. If you're eating food grown commercially, even if it is healthy, you're still consuming poison. And if you're eating food grown outside, dusting us with stuff that is poison, there's basically no option except, so being able to have tricks that can keep you from being overwhelmed by the poison, like those are huge, absolutely huge. And another thing, like before I got on the Gail, you knew I was making kimchi because it was making a racket, and I'm sorry. Fermented fermentation, cheap, dirt easy, fresh vegetables, and incredibly healthy for you. Encounter.
Yes, and get to know your local farmer in the area.
Oh yes, like
yes.
If crap happened tomorrow, I'd have almost a year's worth, and you know, I'd be sharing with my neighbors because that's a good way to prevent over.
Okay.
So yeah, you know.
Harry is suggesting putting a bit of baking soda when boiling rice and beans. I know alkalizing is a very healthy thing.
It is. It is. I put a little in mine as well. Alkalizing your carbohydrates, which is what mixtamalized. It's one of the reasons why mixtamalized corn is so much healthier for you than non-mixed. Alkalinizing carbohydrates helps reduce the impact they have, and it also helps produce, like it opens up their nutrient, what they have, and there's a lot of good benefits for particularly your carbohydrate based foods. Now your leafy greens and whatnot, you're better off acid processing those, whether it's lactofermentation through salts, occurring bacteria, or whether it's through like pickling. Salting is a great way to preserve. Yeah, salting is a great way to preserve things like meat. I've been learning curing. This last year, I've been learning a lot from a tiny little concrete apartment, and it's an old house with a great big yard cellar. And I grew up on a farm, so I've been kind of resurrecting the shit that I learned when I was to grow food. And you know, I'm not so great at it yet, but I'd say pounds of food off my first year garden here, which is not too bad.
No, actually, it's pretty good. My parents used to can or my mother did every year, and my dad grew a wonderful garden. And I really regret that I didn't help him more than I did, because I used to try to go hide because I didn't want to weed the garden. But I might have learned something had I paid better attention. But anyway, it is what it is. Now I'm learning the hard way. I've had better luck with herbs than I have with the other vegetables.
Well, yeah, I had a really exciting summer. I grew probably about 6 pounds off of 8 plants. 3 pounds of jalapenos, 3 pounds and 3 pounds of sweet bell peppers. I just in my bok choy, which are also called Napa cabbage and pak choy. Probably got about 5 pounds of Napa and about the pak choy, but my mother-in-law ate most of that, and I was only share.
Well, Sol would can relate, because she has a big garden in her and grows a lot of tomatoes, and so I wish I lived closer to her. But anyway, someone Ian asked what alkalizing mean, and it means most Americans are very acidic and they need to alkalinize because pathogenic.
Oh yeah, if you're eating a lot of processed carbohydrates, you are acidic as. This is one of the reasons when I say, you know, like proper processing of carbohydrates involves because otherwise it leads to a very acidic situation in your blood. Chemist is more acid to compensate, and it can lead to a whole bunch of issues. And you know, it's one of those things
Cancer.
where, yeah, cancer. It's an ideal like for parasites and candida to live in. It's because
They
of the
love it
sugar
when they're
across, like, yeah.
exactly. They
Oh,
love
they
it
love
when
it.
people are acidic.
Mhm.
It says it's being suggested that maybe you talk a little bit slower
Oh,
because you go in
yeah.
and out a little bit, just to make it easier for them to because the audio isn't, I don't know why. It looks like you got plenty of bandwidth, but it still is going in and out. And even if it's phone, it shouldn't really be doing that. But
Yeah,
oh well.
sometimes it's these phone microphones. I'll see if I can replay. There, maybe
Yes,
that'll
and
help.
somebody's
Probably got
right. And Soul's mentioning about the baking powder should be Bob's baking powder, and that's because it doesn't contain the aluminum that is in the other
yeah. That's what I use
powders.
too.
That's what I use too.
Baking soda, and I
So
use
somebody was asking. Oh, wait a minute. Now I lost it. Where'd it go? Somebody was asking about ships. Now let me see if I can find that. Here it is. It says, question, are there really fleets of ships behind Jupiter now?
Yeah.
And if so, who?
Well, there's about 500 different groups. All with various agendas. Most of them are I know I've said this before. The vast majority of groups that are here in system are in for their own agenda, looking to find some way to better. Some of them have agendas that we might agree with, do not. So yeah, there are about 500 groups involved here.
So are they all involved
a-
in, are they all interested in somehow controlling or manipulating humanity? Is that basically what you're saying?
Some are, some aren't. Some want to human life and set up shop here themselves. Others want to regulation and then take over. Still others just want to loot the place and leave. Establish beneficial trading relationships and cultural exchanges, and you know, as above, so below. Every stupid idiot thing that people of space societies are capable of as well.
Okay, we have somebody.
Some of them want to make slaves, right?
Right. I just want to tell Lisa about the digestion and the baking soda. You really need to listen to some of the presentations by Dr. Robert O. Young. And you might be surprised because the digestive process is different than what we were taught, according to him. And I think he's correct. But anyway, somebody else was asking, how can you build our gifts, our clairvoyance, our telepathy, and those types of things?
Just start going with it. Like most of you have an instinct, a gut feeling, you know, start paying attention to it. Once you start understanding what it feels like when it's an act, sort of to use it both as a passive detection system and to start leveraging an active system that you use. Like it's like a muscle. You're asking, do I lift 500 pounds? Well, first start with 5, right?
Right.
And lift.
Okay. So in other words, practice.
I'm not saw that. No, I am not a Pleiadian. We're not from the local universe. And that's probably a good thing because they have nothing that they could use with Earth.
Okay. Somebody's asking, our Well and Lively with Lainey is asking, what can you tell us of the atomic clock reset or how it works versus crystalline natural time clock?
I have no idea. First time I've ever heard heard that. You may have to ask.
I didn't either. That's
somebody
totally new
else.
to me. I don't know where that came from, Lainey, but I never heard of it before. But
You could be talking about like the quantum collapse. We're in a kind of, people think we're in a simulation. We're not in a simulation box. Now, some people here may be familiar with the idea of Schrodinger's cat is a quantum thought experiment. And it goes, the cat, and you put it in a box with something that's guaranteed to kill the cat, but it right off the bat. Like, it's a random event. You don't know is alive or dead until you open the box. In the box. The cabal is the thing, and like all these forces that are arrayed is guaranteed to cause death at some point. The question is, the box going to open with us still alive or after the what we've been doing is attempting to skew the odds so that when the cat is alive. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want this. It looks awful, and I don't want to experience that, and I don't want anybody else to experience that. And if they do want to, they can go off in the corner and do it to themselves.
Yes. Isn't that the truth? Do you think there's some people that are concerned that there may be a civil war in the United States? Do you think that's, do you have any opinion on that?
That there'll be a civil war. Some people are concerned that there'll be a nuclear war. Some people are concerned
that's a little bit bigger than a civil war.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Some people are concerned that, these morons over in the next deadly, now we can kill 80% of the mice instead of pandemic on us. Some people are afraid of Marburg. Some people are afraid of like, have you got the point yet? Some people are afraid of complete economic collapse. Look, all the shit in the world is arrayed against us right now. Up to us not to get psyched out by the very real reasons to be afraid.
So we really have to be in control of our emotions.
Be in control of your emotions. 100%. The controlled by your emotions, the more weight you are putting to the cat is dead.
Wow.
The more you do, you are in control of your emotions. The more you refuse to let even dire provocation you to act in certain ways and react, the more the cats be a living cat here, guys.
Well, I think it was Bruce Lee that said something to the effect that to remain calm and peaceful in all situations is a great gift or talent to work on. Keeping your head about things that
Yes, keep your head on straight. And you know what? Just because you fall off the wagon now and then and fall into the fear or the outrage or whatever, doesn't mean you can't keep going.
Exactly. Hey, I've got another question
and
for you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it'll be family. It'll be geopolitical. It'll be, everything. It's going to go crazy. Get to the end of this, the more everything is just going to go absolutely insane. Nobody ever could have predicted. You just have to kind of float like water on a float like a butterfly, stink like a bee.
Go with the flow. Okay. Someone's asking, can you explain incarnates and what is the difference between being an incarnate and thinking you are an incarnate?
Well, I don't know that there is a difference. Being an incarnate just means that you're here from some person on this planet is here from somewhere else. Earth does not have native species. Life was seen somewhere else.
So,
an incarnate just more recognizes that the person is, either this is their first time here, or they haven't, the cycle of reincarnation on the washing machine here, and they're now aware of who and what they are, and they're in control of themselves, and they're deliberate actors.
So there are a lot of incarnates on the earth today, correct? Here to help with the
The
ascension process.
20% of the population is recently arrived on Earth.
Really? So you mean they're young souls? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh,
no. Some of them
they're
are
incarnates
first.
that are here to help.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is maybe their first life here, or time they've been to Earth in a long time, like my case. Because
what
I came several thousand years ago, and down, and I incarnated here, and then I died and got stuck in the washing machine before I finally said, screw you guys, I'm out. And told the bastards where to shove it when they tried to reincarnate me again, and I left. And I said that place, and then I got out, find out how big the problem is, and the fact fix it, and I said, well, shit, guess I'm going back.
Let's see, I'm trying to get and there was a question I was trying to get in, and the chat moves so quickly sometimes that I can't always, oh, darn it. What is your, somebody is asking about people will be liberated from the dark ETs according to Elenia probably after the solar flash is what some people are saying. What's your take on that?
What happens when the box is open? Is the cat alive, or is the cat dead? If the cat's dead, well, I don't want to. Flash.
So somebody's
I don't
asking
know if it's something else, but like there is something coming. Everybody knows the form it'll take. It will be the form it takes. Nobody knows for sure how.
We don't know what it is,
or even what we're gonna. Quantum collapse. And I've been calling it.
So nobody really knows what's
now.
coming, even though everybody, I mean, some people might know what's coming, but nobody is telling anybody what's coming that if they're aware of it. Is that correct?
Yeah. Nobody could, like, if there is an old saying, no one shall know the hour or minute.
Yeah.
That was put in the Bible in reference to the return of which got retconned specifically, and I know there'll be people out there who are upset at me for not acknowledging their viewpoint on that, and I'm sorry. my viewpoint differs. I'm predicting a quantum collapse. The only thing you could predict is that it is mathematical at some point.
What does that do?
When
I mean, what happens?
How is impossible.
Well, if there's a quantum collapse, what happens? What does that mean?
There might just be or everything's happening all at once, and it's kind of chaotic and confusing, and then all of a sudden you're just wondering what the fuck just happened.
Well, yeah, they got people wondering, that's for sure. What do you think about the transhumanism agenda?
Oh, that's an attempt by the to basically get their version of the come when the box opens, which for us would be dead cat. So we don't want that, and they don't really want that, because dead cat for us is dead cat for them as well. It's just that most of these fuckers
Well, somebody asked that question. So how do we beat them and win our home back?
Well, you start with yourself. You win yourself back. You take control of yourself. You start doing your self work. And once you find out that you act as a bubble, a probability bubble, warps the probability around you to be less of this horrible negative shit and more want to see in the world.
So,
And, well, we can pretty much accomplish anything.
yeah, it's just, I think it's, the programming that people have been subjected to, makes them think small, feel small, and act small. And
yeah, that's deliberate. That's on things like, oh, hey, well, maybe I could change the world by growing a garden. Eastern concept called cultivation, which is the idea of doing just what it sounds like on the tin, growing the self, cultivating this. And, the goal with cultivation was often to become a bodhisattva or immortal. And to escape samsara, by being mindful, being patients in your processes, reducing as much as you can your reactions and triggered to intentional, conscious act because you wish to, not because you're reacting to an emotional situation or to something that pushed your button. The more you can do that, the better. And, in terms of spiritual impact, you are literally creating a warping bubble that alters reality in a good way.
So, yeah, we encourage people to smile and to do random acts of kindness.
And really work
to uplift
on yourself,
other people.
Yeah.
You're
your almost enemy.
And Lisa has a question. Enki is the devil and mostly AI. What is your opinion on that?
Enki was one of the Anunnaki retconned into the devil, but honestly, the devil's been a lot of different people and like a lot of different characters. I try not to get I don't get bogged down in narrative because it's almost never the truth. We're playing a game of telephone when it comes to Enki, and most of it's been changed that we have access to here in 2022 is most original source, let alone the original understanding of the original source. So Nicker's tied into a knot over this character or that character or what, it's not helpful.
It's not important, is it?
It's not important and it's not helpful. If he comes back, kick him in the nuts.
Yeah. Someone else is asking a question about people who have recently passed away. Where would their soul be currently?
Well, that depends. There could be still reincarnation dealt with. They could be in there. But those are not nearly as easy. But most of the recently deceased seem to be ending up years where they're given, they're told, hey, okay, so you just got out of that nasty little trap. Now here's a chance to heal and rest, and you can decide. Most of them are sticking around because they're discovering that they had a life that they left behind when they came to Earth, and they want to go back to that. Others, and many are also like, hey, we want relatives, for when everything breaks open and we can meet our relatives. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the battle's not over yet anyway.
Nope.
But anyway, so has the reincarnation prison been taken down?
Most of them, yeah. There wasn't just one, right? Like they had little stations all over the goddamn place. Modalities. Some were space based, some were like astral plane based, some were based in other like fake heaven. They had like basically so many of these. It wouldn't to be able to escape. And when we started taking them down, it was like, oh god, there's more. Could we have missed one or two? Yeah, probably. Have we gotten most of them?
Okay. Oh, sometimes there's missing words. Some people are talking about the audio. It's difficult to hear at times. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if it'd be better if we pre-recorded it and then put it out or what. But anyway, right now we're doing the best we can with what we got. And so please bear with it. It's the best we can do. Okay, good vibes. How can one practice shielding? Perimeter, personal, emotional. How do you know if it's really working or just intention and hopium?
Well, everything spiritual is intention and hope. Once you start to pay attention to your psychic feedback system, and that it is more than just hopium. There is an energy that you're emitting and that you're able to leverage. But to begin with, it starts out as intention and hopium.
Okay.
Yeah, you basically envision something and you, like a shell around yourself.
Okay, it's here's another question. Is it true in order to walk on another planet, you need a body that's compatible with that planet? Like gas bodies for gas planets.
Well, I do know that if I'd put it in that terms, but generally you need to be able to match context with something to be able, and there is a certain amount of you're able to bring some of your context with. You'll have to have enough of the context there to match.
What about people are asking? What about Nibiru? Is that coming? Is that still coming around, or has that been?
No, they blew up thousands of years ago.
Okay, yeah, that's what I heard. I thought it was destroyed too. It didn't exist, but people are still promoting that concept, which is
we humans
don't realize they can
kicked them out of here. They went, we'll be back, you'll be sorry. They ran off and they got their asses blown up by yeah.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody's asking, is it possible to bring back destroyed souls from the void?
Yeah. If you have, oh yeah, you have to have somebody whose abilities sort of run in and soul recovery, and then you have to have somebody who remembers enough about that person to sort of on that, and then that you get those people working together to sort of for the little fragments and bits and like patch that person back together. And my cat is eating bok choy.
See, somebody says, this is just a statement really, energy archetypes change with the overall developing realms. Nothing stands still. You never step into the same river twice. You change, spirits change. What do you say to that?
You know, the 7 principles of Hermeticism, know and practice and deeply internalized, because they are absolutely
what?
Universe works.
Oh, okay. All right. How do you join? Somebody's asking, how do you join the Silver Legion?
Well, first you have to be able to have, whether that's astral projection or bilocation or something like that. Then you have to get to one of our recruiting stations. And then you have to basically get the full disclosure and consent and decide whether it's something you join as a provisional member for a short period of time until it's kind of like a mutual whether you like it, whether you get along, and if you do, then yeah, you're in.
Wow. Okay, somebody's asking about the pole flip. We've had a lot of talk about the magnetosphere, and then some people have brought in a total pole flip. What's your take on that?
Pole flip.
Yeah.
Whatever it is the cabal controlled scientists are telling you, it's not going to happen. That's not how it's going to play out. They're just trying to get in your consciousness so that you produce a cataclysm. I will refer back to Civil War, nuclear war, economic crash, sun blasting us out of existence, pole flip.
Oh, fear, huh?
Yeah. It may happen in the way they say it happens, and it doesn't have to have the effects they say it will have, and it doesn't have to hurt. For one thing, a loss of the magnetic, a loss of the magnet result in us all frying from solar radiation. It would result in the mixing go. So they'd very much like you to think that it would result in awful things, and your natural human abilities come back, you manifest that. If everybody's terrified and living in fear, when everybody starts to get their creational abilities back, when awful shit. So they've been trying to load up humanity with as much of that possible, so that when the fence goes down, we construct the fence ourselves.
Okay. Somebody says you spoke about gaining people to the Silver Legion after the event. What are they being recruited for?
Well, Earth isn't the only planet that needs liberating. The thing that allowed this to, the larger meta, permitted a situation like Earth to occur in the first place. And that is a lot bigger than Earth. Earth is just the start of fixing that.
Okay, somebody wants you to explain, if you could explain the fence that you referred to.
So there is a tripartite system, components: the astral plane, the matrix, and the veil. The election part. It takes all of humanity, all of our power, all of our spiritual ability, everything but like base level, and it steals that and it uses it in a great big, like it puts it into this great pile, I guess, which if you go into it, you can play in and you fart around and make whatever you want while you're there, and then it disappears into making it persistent. But basically, you're playing in the sum of human that has been stolen from humans. And is the code, like the instruction system, which then takes that that creational goo that we generate and that's been stolen from us, and the veil to spin out the five senses reality we live within. Astral plane, matrix, veil. 3 parts that is designed to keep everything on this planet going exactly as the system want it to. The matrix is an AI program. This is, scientists think we're living a simulation because we're inside of a fucking fishbowl. All you see is fishbowl walls, which is a real distorted view of we are living in something that is a deliberate projection on this, like around us, very specific kind of reality.
How do we break the fishbowl?
Oh, it's breaking. Like it is in the process of breaking. And there, you know, anything, the best engineered tower will still fail one day. Well, the best, like the most well-constructed house will still break eventually. The best engineered and built in a rotten sink at some point. Any built system eventually fails. It's been around for several thousand years, and it is reaching its failure state. And our own efforts, all of us, our spiritual efforts, collectively strain that system. The more we push, the more it starts to, it has to compensate to maintain this reality that we're so used to. And it's starting to reach a point where it can no longer maintain that. We're seeing a lot more glitches in the making through. Eventually, it's going to reach a point where it can no longer compensate for it, and it'll fail.
Wow. Okay, here's a question. Does your physical self know if you are a Silver Legion member as lucidly as you do, or is it just a security issue not to know that higher identity?
Well, if you came to Earth, you had your memory wiped at birth. Being able to regain that is it is a process from never accomplish it. I at the age of 16, I'm in my 40s now.
Oh, you're a youngster.
Yes. I became aware of the Silver Legion in my early 20s. Involvement with it in my early 20s, but the big picture of why I did not become apparent, that's when I started to go live with, you know, first with Polek and John Kettler, and then website and all the shows that I've done since. Understanding evolves over time. You become more and more aware as you become more and more self-actual. It's a process. I don't know if that answers the question. You know, for some people, the initiating incident might be like a bolt from the blue, right? All of us. For others, it's more of a gradual process. None of us come in omniscient. We all had to discover the whole being on Earth thing, and it was also necessary in order to understand and discover it procedurally down here.
Okay, somebody's also asking, are there going to be plagues and major earth changes going forward?
I'm sure they're going to try. Which ones they'll results will be is anyone's guess. They're basically trying to throw the kitchen sink at us.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Uh-huh. Any kind of cataclysm they can pull off there, just because they cause something doesn't mean it has to have the. We have a say in this too. Get yourself out of the fear, and like the emotional reaction. Take frickin' control of your emotions. This matters.
Especially right now, it's so important because you can't think straight, and you're easily or more easily controlled if you're in a state of fear because you just do what you're told. And people, you know, don't question authority, and they need to. That's their duty to question authority.
I'm so afraid. Why? I'm fifth jab. I'm so afraid. Why is everybody else not obeying?
Oh, wow. Okay, somebody's asking this. Tanaath, do you believe in God or a higher power? I'm just curious about your beliefs.
I don't believe in the presented by most religion. I believe in a creator yes, sitting there micromanaging us. That creator is within all of us, of living energy, of intent, of free will, of our own self-actualization. That is part of the creator, the breath. The creator is simultaneously the action. It is not one person or thing. It is not one representative within that. It is not a God that rules over all. It is all. You as it is me, as it is the cats that are fighting in the bok choy that I harvested and no doubt crawling all over my house now.
Somebody noticed that they got their chemtrail spraying this morning. Now, there's been some people who talk and say that the chemtrails are not the same chemtrails that they used to be, and that these are something that's supposed to help people. What do you say about that?
That'd be nice if it was the case. I have no way to tell.
Okay. So we don't know if that's just a rumor or a hearsay or what have you.
Let's reality is thing. Let's just decide that that's what it's going to be and force it. Or else.
Yeah, it's better to think it's good stuff for us. That's that's a more positive thought. That's for sure.
Force it to be good. You're starting to gain back because the matrix is failing, and force it to be good with your will.
Yeah, people don't realize how powerful they are, and myself included. We just we've been so programmed by this matrix to think of ourselves as little me. What difference could I possibly make, kind of thing. And so then people just don't do anything because they don't feel like anything that they can do can have any kind of impact, and they're really wrong about that because they can have a lot of impact.
If I might make a suggestion to those people, the wisdom of ancient Buddhist monks and monasteries is bullshit. Sweep the floor, do the dishes, grow the garden. These little acts of just caretaking, they only the world around outside of you, but they help inside of you. They help when you take deliberate action to do the little things that need to be done. You cultivate yourself. You regain your power. It's like this: chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. I've really been getting an object lesson in householding. Yeah, sure, it's a lot of work. If I sit here and resent them, but if I sit here and just zen out and do it, it becomes meditation. It's myself inside while I organize.
I may have to adapt that attitude because it's not something I enjoy doing that much. It's like a necessary something, and because I like it to be all neat and clean, but it seems like I sit in front of the computer.
It's gotten a lot easier in the last. Yeah, it's gotten a lot easier. It's just okay. Cat box needs scooped. Go do it.
Right. Okay, somebody's asking, are all known planets we are aware of in this galaxy spherical in shape?
Well, the thing about gravity is that it tends to create spherical shapes. When you're knocking around, it tends to create spherical shapes because anything that is off. So if it wasn't spherical, and it might end up not being spherical, something really catastrophic. Yeah, for the most part, it's going to be spherical.
Okay. Another question. Are you able to comment on the Pleiadians at the moment?
Yeah, those pumps. So they, there is a very complex situation upstairs where, like I mentioned, there's about 500 different groups. It takes unilateral unilateral action, everybody else will gang up on them and kick the shit out of them. So it's like nobody's really doing much of anything, but everybody's trying covert means to get their way. Much like down here on Earth, right? Very, very rarely does anyone move open because then everybody else shits on them. So the Pleiadians stuff that kind of violated everybody else's rules and living shit kicked out of them. I warned them. Like, I think Yahoo's up there for years and years and years that the more they force their way with Earth, not only are the bits they used to off, but they're gonna lose in proportion to how much they. And the Pleiadians have, unfortunately for them, committed an awful lot of way, and now that's in the process of being chopped off, and the backlash might just destroy them. They fucked up.
Big time. Okay. Someone's asking how to contact a recruiting station. Is there a link? Do we?
You need to be able to find a way to get to one. There's we have the can of whoop ass, which is our M class, one of our M class bioplanets that's hanging out on the other side of Jupiter. If you can find your way to project there, whether what's required is that you have some way to consciously interpret and understand. That's basically it. If you get yourself there and you can consciously interpret the experience, you can handle it.
Oh, okay. Here's Soul has a comment. How can I hide my emotions and not say them in my public mind when I'm by loved ones that do something like, "Are you freaking kidding again?"
Practice then. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's really a process of learning to identify what triggers you and like through those things and consciously bringing yourself back from the ledge. It is a process thing. You don't start lifting 500 pounds. You start lifting 5.
Yeah.
And you're going to slip. You're going to backslide. You're going to have bad triggers you thought you dealt with all of a sudden poked and hard and come out. It is a
Come
process.
right back up. Yeah. I got a trigger that I'm working on.
Yeah. Oh, it's never over. Enlightenment is it's a life on and off switch. You have to just keep going. Everything's riding on it.
Okay, will the corruption be cured from this universe, or is it too late?
Well,
It's never too late.
Yeah. Will it be corrupted? Well, or will it be cured? That's kind of what we're in the process of trying to do here. It's not going to happen all at once. You don't start with the 500 pounds.
There we go again. Yeah.
Big
That's
first
why.
step.
That's because Americans want everything like yesterday, and
Very objective oriented.
Maybe other people
like-
are like that too, but I think Americans are especially bad that way. And we're the take a pill society, and that goes for all areas of life. We want some simple, easy solution that doesn't require a whole lot of commitment on our part. Just take a pill and get better, or just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just even the med bed thing. Just jump in the med bed and you'll be all cured, and we don't have to worry about how you got there in the first place. So every time you have issues, you're gonna go jump on the med bed or something like that.
I got tired of waiting around for med beds on my own, and maybe they're not as thorough and total as a med bed, but in the meantime, things are getting. I'm regaining health instead of just losing it.
Yeah, and there are people. I actually know people that are actually saying to me, "Well, I'm just waiting for the med bed," and I'm going, "Don't do that.
You might be
Please,
waiting.
Don't do that. You might be waiting forever."
Yeah, and in the meantime, if you know this at the end, but if you die, you lose a great deal of your ability to influence things here. it's worth taking care of yourself.
It is. Here's another one. How would a boots on the ground spiritual conflict between good and evil being fought in higher planes be expressed in our lower plane?
Well, you see what's happening all around you, inside you. Yeah, like that.
There's been talks about nuclear war, like we mentioned earlier. And what do you think about that? Do you think that could actually happen?
I suspect that if you guys are mostly familiar with the UFO lore about silos that had little orbs and stuff going around them, and all of a sudden nukes that.
They couldn't fire.
Yeah, it's a psyop. I suspect.
Yeah, it's a fear.
That
yeah,
it is something that is being done for the benefit, if you want to call it, of don't understand that those things are not actual, but people don't know that. And so,
right.
And the first one who presses the big red button, regardless of whether anything comes out other than little piece of paper that says "bang," you stupid idiot, right? And whoever presses the big red button loses in the so.
Really,
yeah,
I like Harry,
which is the reason why they are trying to provoke Russia into pressing the big red button first. Whether or not anything comes out of that big red button is immaterial. Whoever.
Well, they've been talking about Juan O'Sullivan has been talking about America's going to experience, our civilization's going to experience a near-death experience in order to come out of the sleep or the hypnotic state that they're in.
That level of shock to the system for most of these idiots to wake up. The events of the last 3 years and still say, "Oh no, nothing's going on. It's not a conspiracy." You're really freaking asleep, and you're gonna need a real hard kick in the pads to fall out of it, right? I hate it. I don't want to be here getting my ass kicked because these assholes are too stupid to wake up when it's obvious. But what can I say?
Yeah, it is. It's difficult. I guess the programming is very strong in those ones that refuse to wake up. Either that or they're empty containers. I don't know which.
Yes,
here to preserve the matrix.
They have refused every provocation thus far. And what the fuck is it going to take for them to finally just stop believing the lies?
Well, here's an interesting. Harry made an interesting comment. Human chain is as strong as your strongest links. Very peculiar. That is. I like that statement.
The weakest link, the strongest link, and everybody who self-actualizes is another. We're so programmed to believe in heroes. Someone else.
In heroes? Is that what you said?
Who isn't so programmed as a society to believe in heroes as someone, as in not you.
A savior of sorts.
Stop doing
that. Is that what you mean?
Yes, gotta stop doing that. The savior isn't somebody else. It's all of us doing the work together, Drake says.
Okay,
And
here's
you
some.
are just as me or 107 or anyone else.
That's what people don't realize. They look up to these other people when they should be looking up to themselves as well, and working on themselves, because they can do what, I mean, we have been so programmed to, as I said, think of ourselves as so small and insignificant, that somehow, sometime, people need to rise above that programming and realize that they have more impact than they realize. I don't know.
And then one point I kind of got fed up, and I said, well, why can't I be, one of the great and powerful? Just kind of ended up being.
There you go.
Made myself. Nobody came along and ordained me. I ordained myself. You don't have to be validated by someone else. That's another thing. We're looking for someone to select us out of who are the winner. No, you don't need that. Just be the winner. Just be the hero. You can do
Somebody's asking if those 500 groups, are they benevolent, or do
some
they all
are,
have
some aren't.
Oh, some aren't? No, that's not cool.
Like you can't make blanket statement whether or not they're benevolent or not. Some are, some aren't. Like they're just like people. Some of your neighbors will rob you blind, right?
Right. Somebody's asking, how can you build your clear? Well, I guess I already is. What about telepathy? Is there an exercise we can do? I think there is, but I have a deck of cards. But what do you think? I guess we asked that.
Very young
already.
when I was 16. So if I had to do it over again, I'm not sure how to, be aware and listen to the feelings inside and don't let yourself be fooled by that can't possibly be real, right? Like
that's your mind working,
instincts.
that monkey mind working against you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
Pay attention to your instincts. You just don't realize.
Somebody's asking too, how can you explain how to practice connecting to your highest self guardians, the upstairs team?
Well, what I do is I connect through my inside to those things in the universe and multiverse that are me, that sort of me as a concept rather than me as a literal. And it just kind of, I'd focus on that. And yeah, meditation on the fractal beings.
Harry is saying that shock therapy seems to be the only way for the sleepers.
Yeah, unfortunately, as much as I hate it, like.
Oh, here's an fun one. It says, any tips on how to connect with your higher self, and how do you know if it's really you?
Of you, and you're perceiving it as an extension of you, then it's you. If it's coming from, hey, I'm you, then it's not you.
Oh, let's see what else we got. We're got about 15 minutes left here. Okay. How can you clear yourself of parasites, physical and non-physical, and are we all victims of parasites?
Well, for physical, parasitic cleanses like Paracleanse or that. Ivermectin is a good anti-parasitic, which is another. because parasites are a lot bigger problem than most people are. Where it comes to energetic parasites, one of the best ways to sort of deal with that is to be a system and reinforce it and just use your own energy to cleanse this.
Well, it's interesting too because the parasite. Why I was asking myself, why is a parasite drug like ivermectin or even hydroxychloroquine? Why are they using it with this? It doesn't, and it's not a virus they're talking. It's a parasite. So why are they using a parasite? And sure enough, it was a parasite. It is a parasite. But anyway, they just lie about everything.
And one thing, very few bacteria and viruses, some fungus is good, some fungus is neutral, and some fungus is, but almost, everybody knows about bad bacteria and bad viruses. Almost nobody knows, and there's very little effective treatments.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
was just
bigger attack vector.
I guess I better be careful what we say here because medical disinformation code words they'll get us. They'll knock the channel down. So we better not talk about that anymore.
Yeah, a fungus among us, right?
Yes, the fungus among us. That's a good one. So parasites are, of course, they diss the use of those products that I mentioned too. So thank you for that reminder, Dot Connector. Sometimes you just feel like you should just be able to talk, and you can't.
Bastard.
And you should be able to. So. Let's see. We live, we die. Whose fault is that? Living and dying is nobody's fault. I mean, I guess we pick when we're going to die, and so at least that's what they say. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But what do you?
Yeah, out there normally, yeah. You have when you enter into incarnation, you become subject to the properties of that species. For instance, you become Pleiadian. You take on the Pleiadian lifespan.
Okay.
That's another thing, going back to the Pleiadian question from before. One of the things they were caught doing, this Alabar's team, Alabar Jones, his team is one of the ones that discovered Pleiadians were trading in human adrenochrome to extend their normal lifespan is about 15,000 years at the high
and they're killing or they're getting human adrenochrome in order to live longer.
They're getting yes, in order to buck another 3 times that length inappropriately.
Well, I'm really
would be enough for him.
I can see why they want to keep us under wraps to a certain extent, because once humans regained all their powers back that we used to have, that way they took away from us that are dormant now. If that ever comes back, I can understand why they would be in great fear of us.
Oh yeah. This is why they had to keep us from waking up at any and what happens when we become aware of all the fuckery that's been going on.
And what they've been doing to the children too. That's the most unforgivable thing around. And we have a question. Speaking of forgiveness, Sol has a question. Forgiveness is a religious control construct, in my opinion. Those children didn't ask for the problem that was forced upon them. What do you think of forgiveness? Does it depend what it is?
I have to say it very much depends in my mind, because what's going on here, I thought, because to me, forgiving that is giving it a pass and permitting it, and I am not about that.
Exactly.
I can accept, especially if I've ended it. Yes. And I can be very determined to let it happen again. But to just sort of, let them go. Not after this. Lines have been crossed.
This is a true statement that Diane B just made. The sleepers are not on the internet. The ones I know just work and watch TV, and some people need an official announcement. And that's where
clearly you haven't been on Reddit or Twitter. The sleepers are very much on the internet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there are those who check out and just go with whatever the television. But like you go on to any social media site like Reddit or Instagram, and you put a toe out of place, and the sleepers are weaponized against you in their sleeping corrals by a horde of bot shills and trolls who are steering the conversation. If you can get this, if you go on Reddit and say maybe we shouldn't have over Ukraine, they accuse you of being pro-Putin. Like, the barefaced logic of it, annihilating the Earth does not help Ukraine, even if Putin is a bad boy.
Which I don't think he is, but anyway.
Yeah, the jury's out on that one.
Well, we only know what we've been hearing, and we don't know what the true reality of what's been going on because they don't want to tell us. And so it's kind of difficult to judge things without that. Truth would be so nice for a change, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're saying here's another question. Something about Bonnie. Okay, that was just a statement. Here's another one. Question. A person said that the Silver Legion is in or joined a group called the Earth Agency. Do you know anything about this? I think you would know, wouldn't you?
No, I personally, so I can't comment. Like, I don't know. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, here's another one. Can you please teach a tutorial on how to properly mentally project or astral travel? I hear the warnings and don't want to be anything's prey.
I don't think I can, simply because I've been doing it so long that I came to it basically so I don't think I could teach
You
another
cut
person
out there. I didn't
how.
hear what you said. Yeah.
Almost instinctively or as a natural. I don't think I could teach another person how. Really in tune with your gut and with your instincts, because that's your protection.
Yeah, I think people have a tendency to feel, inadequate or something's wrong with them if they don't do some of the things that other people are doing. And like they hear about the astral travel and they hear about the projection and all the different things. And if they don't do it, then they feel less than, that kind of thing. I don't know how you can fix that, but. Oh, here's a question. Ask Tanaath if there will be a money system in the future.
If you want one, sure. I mean, like their currency. I doubt it's going to be this kind of debts we have now. Unless, and we don't win. In which case, yeah, enjoy your corporate.
Now, my understanding, if the corporate United States went down, doesn't that take down the corporate states with it?
You know what? When it comes to all that corporate and constitutional law and like that is not my area of expertise.
Okay. Somebody's asking if we could have a reunion with Drake.
Sure, if I can ever find the time for it. I'm sitting here making kimchi. while I'm doing this radio show. Like
Yeah.
it,
It's probably why I don't
it
get
took-
anything done, because I'm always
yeah.
doing a show of some sort, and I don't have time to do anything else. And people
Gail,
have
you
no
can
idea how much
attest to the
time is
fact-
involved in all of this. None. They
the
really
fact that
don't.
how difficult it was for us to schedule this slot in the first place. Like,
Well, how do you like this? Somebody says, happy to hear your voice again, Tanaath.
oh, thanks.
So anyway, why don't we come up with, if you have any final words, we're coming up on an hour and a half, and I don't like to go any longer than that because people have short attention spans usually.
I have another gallon more kimchi to make tonight. So, okay, parting words. Really can't say this enough. Really, change does begin with the inside of you. Really, it does. I know it sounds hokey. I know it sounds. I figured it out myself. I was thinking the same thing, but really, if by taking control of yourself and becoming like just being in life and taking control of your thoughts, you're not your thoughts. You're the person listening and start like speaking to them.
All right. Well, so it seems like I'm hearing the message over and over again from many facilitators out there to help, that are, trying to help people. The biggest message seems to be work on yourself.
Yes,
Start
and
recognizing,
stop being yes, it's scary out there. Yes, there is, a legitimate reason for a person to feel fear, but that doesn't mean you have to give into it. Just because it's scary and bad things are happening, give into the fear. Stop indulging in it. It's not chocolate. You don't get anything nice.
you just get a lot of cortisol, and that's not good for you.
Yeah, and sick and sad.
Right. All right. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time and energy, and I apologize to the listeners for any audio issues, but
Yeah,
Tanaath
I'm
lives
sorry.
out in the boondocks and has a very similar problem that Dean Chambers has. So we do the best we can, and you can still make out what's said. You can slow the tape down too by, with that little wheel. You can actually ask it to go, instead of normal speeds, you can have it go at 0.75, and then you might catch more. That's something you can do as well. Plus, with headphones, you hear a lot more than if you don't have them on.
Mm-hmm. I need to invest in a new pair of headphones myself, but that'll be a few months.
Yes, always something, isn't there? Okay. Well, thank you, Tanaath, and we'll bring you on again soon when as things progress.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a great evening. Thank you, listeners, and we'll see you again soon. By the way, I guess I should mention that I do have some shows coming up that I hope you will be interested in. That let me see my schedule. I'm having Patricia Corey on this week, so on the 27th, with her new book, Hacking the God Code, which could be very interesting. So anyway, thank you, Tanaath, and thank you, listeners, and we will be back with another great show soon, and we have wonderful guests, and thank you, Tanaath. That includes
You're
you.
welcome, and thank you for inviting me in.
Oh, you're very welcome. Here we go.
We'll stand. We'll stand. We will stand. Standing tall.